Viewers, very warm welcome to another episode of V News English program Perspectives, in which we bring before you the most insightful perspectives from the leading experts on the most critical issues that the world faces today. And perhaps the most critical challenge that the world security is confronted today is the war in the Middle East, which continues to expand and intensify across the world, across several domains. So, in order to understand and decipher its significance, implications, and options related particularly to maritime security, international global energy supply chain, and the role that Pakistan can perhaps play in mitigating some of these challenges, we are joined today by a leading authority on maritime affairs, Vice Admiral Ahmed Saeed, former Vice Chief of Naval Staff of Pakistan Navy, and former President of National Institute of Maritime Affairs. Sir, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So let me start off without any ado that there's much focus on the missile warfare, the drone warfare between Israel, US, and Iran. But little is being discussed related to the naval domain of this conflict. So, as an expert, what is your thought on the current dynamics of the naval warfare between US, Israel, and Iran right now?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think it's the buzzword at the moment is that it's a Israel war. It's not the American war. The Americans have been dragged into it. So a lot of think tanks and they are talking about how did they get into it. So the objectives which they had set forth, I think they were not very correct in a way that an objective which they compared with the Venezuela, that if they take out the top leadership, so the nation will capitulate, that was very flawed. I think strategically, it was not correct. And that's what it's proving as well. Second thing is, I would like to highlight something which is not talked about, and that is the the CNO, Chief of Naval Operations, which is their CNS, Admiral Liza Franchitti. She had, when she took over about 2 years ago, so she had at that time laid out a plan for their battle groups, how they will operate and what are their inabilities. So she set forth a navigation plan for 2027 in which their modernization will take place. Why? Because their fleet, their navy is actually geared up to fight a war which was pre-AI, pre-precision guided munition, pre-drone warfare. So that is the reason they had setbacks in the Red Sea at the Bab el-Mandab as well. But once the new administration came on this issue, they fired her, and another chap who has taken over now. So, in my view, the United States, along with the carrier battle groups, when they came in, so they were not well prepared to undertake this assignment. And that's the reasons when repulsion came from the Iran side, where they had fired the ballistic missiles, anti-ship ballistic missiles. So they had to go out of those areas from where now they are not very effective. So this is one thing which I wanted to highlight. And that inadequacy is still persistent. So number two is, and that's the reason now they're looking forward to have bases, and they're asking the other countries, because Middle Eastern bases have been neutralized by the Iranians very systematically. So now they need their bases like Diego Garcia and other bases to be utilized for this purpose. And that's the reason they are pressurizing their allies to give them those bases. So this is one of the points. Second is, of course, the importance of Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz, prior to this incident, roughly about, I would say, 180 to 200 ships per day were passing through this area. and of which 70 to 80% were uh, the oilers, the oil tankers, and plus the container ships. The bulk carriers were very less. So this suddenly drop has definitely impacted the supply chain, not only in terms of the goods, but the oil, LNG, and goods. In all three domains, it has impacted. So that is where now, and it was, I think the IRGC, they announced on 2nd closing, and by midnight they had already closed. So now there are multiple challenges which are coming up in the maritime side. One is the ships and tankers and oilers which have been trapped inside. For them, there is a problem, plus their cargo, which they were carrying, the containers. And the second is the ships' cargoes, the container ships and the other ships, especially the container ships. Why? Because they are the ones now, they are outside the Strait of Hormuz. Now they cannot go back because it will not be a viable option. And they need at the moment, they are at the anchorage. At the anchorage, you have a very limited capacity to hold on. So now they need to offload these containers in certain ports.
So does this offer any opportunity for Pakistan, this situation?
Definitely. This is one thing I would say once we talk about that the geography defines the advantages of certain countries. So this is geographical location of Pakistan at this very moment where we can encash this particular opportunity, whereby these ships, those who are carrying the, especially the containers, so they can be offered the trans-shipment opportunity, whereby they can be given the warehousing capacity in Gwadar, in KPT, and as well as in the Port Qasim. So this is where I think we can, and if we start doing this, not only our own systems will get grooved into it, we will start definitely earning goodwill as well as the revenue as well.
What does this specifically mean? Does this mean that if this war lasts for a few weeks, the bulk carriers, the cargo ships, they can offload their cargo in Pakistan and enjoy the storage facilities of Pakistan, and once the war de-escalates, then they can recollect their cargo and deliver it to their destination? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it has in normal parlance, you can say the same thing, but let's go a little technical about it. That is that once the transshipment means two types of transshipment. That is, one is on dock and second is off dock. On dock is within the premises of dock once you temporarily place the containers, and the other ships, those who are transiting, they can pick up those containers. So this is ongoing process. The other one is off dock. Off dock means outside the dock area, you have the warehouses where you can place this thing for a little longer durations, and you can earn on that. So this is the process normally of transshipment. And third phase is that you can have your own coaster ships, whereby your ships can take these cargo to the Gulf countries when the system normalizes, or maybe we are able to get concession from the Iranian authorities, like they did to certain countries in Bab el Mandab, that their shipping will not be targeted. So we can earn this way. The third dimension is that we can link up to the Central Asian republics, and that too, at the moment, we know that through Afghanistan it is not possible, but through China, these containers can be routed. So these are multiple opportunities in which we can earn our revenue, as well as we can geographically we can play a big role in this global supply chain. At the moment, immediately what we need to do, that is another area which I would like to highlight. Number one is that our systems are not in line with what we are talking today. Number one, that the custom regulations are not in line with keeping the cargo off dock. So this is a problem in which I think we should work very quickly in this and issue the necessary SRO. And I think government has taken measures in this regard. Number two is especially the Karachi port, which has at the moment around 5 to 6,000 containers, which are actually the Afghan trade, which are held up here. Number two is there are about 3 to 4,000, 4 to 5,000 is the containers which have been blocked and which have been auctioned, which has not been cleared the area. So because of these two, our capacity in KPT has been reduced. So immediately, I think they can be taken off dock. They can be stored somewhere so that we increase our capacity about 8 to 10,000 containers more. So at the moment, if we talk about Gwadar, we talk about Port Qasim and KPT, they have the capacity at the moment about globally 26,000 containers they can house. But if we go for off-dock premises engagement, so we can multiply this by about 3 to 4 times. So on that, of course, a little infrastructure requirement is there, connecting up those warehouses with the port. These kind of things, I think these need to be looked into.
Thank you so much, Admiral Saeed, for sharing your very insightful, timely perspective and analysis, and also offering valuable ideas how Pakistan can convert this conflict into an opportunity for not only its own people, but contributing to the management of the crisis, which the international maritime trade, but also the energy supply is currently facing. Thank you so much for joining us.